In this video, I want to show you how to diagnose one of these types of water heaters in your RV. This particular one is a direct ignition, so you can just flip the switch and it works. If it's not working, then I'm going to show you a few tips on how you can get it working. So the first thing, if you try the switch, mine is now working, but you flip it, and then it's going to go through a cycle, and you should be able to, after a few seconds, hear it click outside. Now here's a clip before I fixed it. So I'm going to flip the switch, I'm going to hear a thunk, and that is the gas valve coming on, and then very, very quickly this light is going to come back on because it did not light, because there's simply no spark. Now, on my particular RV, you just take this cover off in the back, and there is the inside portion of the water heater. And so it comes in here, there's a wiring diagram. We're going to take a look at that in a second. And it comes down to the board, and then out from the board is this red wire, and that's your igniter. So the first things first, you have to say, do I have power at the board? And so you can tell that by looking at your wiring diagram and then getting at your meter. So if we look at the wiring diagram, you can see that this is a little bit wrinkled, but from the switch it comes in, it goes through the junction box, and then it goes to the high limit. Now that high limit is outside. Then that wire comes back in and goes to the board, and that is the red wire. So that's this wire right here. Let's see, it's going to be in this wiring harness. So what you do is you pop this cover off right here, and then you check that you have power coming into the board. If you have power coming into the board, then you proceed to the next step. So if power is not coming into the board, you go outside to the limit switch, and you may need to test the leads at the limit switch and trace the path back to here. Alright, now as soon as you have power to the board, the next question we have to answer is this board any good? So in my case, when I flipped it on, I heard a thunk, and that is the gas valve, but it never ran the igniter. And I could hear it, and it was just completely dead. So you're going to open the valve, run the igniter, test for ignition, and then if you have a successful ignition, then it's going to know that the flame is lit, and it will just go ahead and heat the water. So in my case, I was getting no spark. So I do not recommend you testing the igniter, as far as like replacing it, but you can definitely test it right here. You just take this off, and then you can run the cycle, have somebody flip the switch, and see if you have 12 volts at this terminal. So if you do not have 12 volts at this terminal, then you don't need to worry about replacing your igniter yet. Now you need to take this board into your local RV dealer someplace. It doesn't matter, just they're all over the place. And I took mine in, just pop it off, took it in there, and they tested it for free. And that will save you a ton of time instead of trying to hunt down all these different things. So I'll show you how to take this off right here, and then we'll take it down and get it tested. Alright, so here is the igniter right here. Here's the board, and I'm going to disconnect it, and then I can disconnect this, and then we'll just pop that board off. Okay. Got some sort of, oh, I see what they've done. There's a piece of two-sided tape on there. Let me see if I can get that off. Alright, so we're just going to take that down and have it tested at a local shop here. So the board was bad. I just put a new one in and plugged it in, and I went around and flipped the switch, and it worked. So it really is pretty straightforward to diagnose these things. And so start with your power. You know, do you have power at the board? And then test the spark, the valve, and everything else down the line. And so I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you next time.